Everyone getting started to ready up now. 19 in. I must be joining late. Who are we missing at the moment? Oh, Williams we're missing at the moment. But apart from that, everybody ready? Little couple of footnotes for Blobby Monday later on, where Dean has retaken a permanent seat. He's been moved to Haas. And the formation lap will be switched off due to a glitch with the live racing timing on Racing Tools. They turned the formation lap off and it should work because it worked for Baker's race that I was in on Wednesday. Came up on my timing, not that I needed it, but yeah. So that's that. Good evening to Bakey and Buzzer in the DRS chat. Always this awkward silence when it's about to load in, and we have rain in Singapore in qualifying. Interesting. So I will put the tyre choice up, which I don't usually do in qualifying, but everybody has defaulted on inters. The rain is coming down. Someone in the race might be able to tell me, one of the drivers, might be able to tell me what the forecast is for the sessions. But who is going to be having a Singapore sling tonight? Colin is looking at dry tyres, potentially. Someone's on their way out now. Looks like a McLaren. It's Pops. Pops Kong back in. He's missed a couple of weeks this season. He is out there on those intermediate tyres. And also out there is Marsky in the Kick Sauber, and now Smug as well. A few more of them now coming out, including the return of Levi. There he is in the Alpine, which is glitching the livery on the front as usual. Hammer Easy Life also out there now with Syme as well. It is Pops Kong who at the moment is the first one to start potentially a hot lap, unless he lets Marvsky go beforehand. His teammates now out there as well. That's Max, of course. Just exited the pit. So here comes Pops to start us off for the session. Colin is out on inters. He's thought better of the dries for now. And Pops has now got Sainsy just behind him, who's on an outlap. We'll keep an eye on Marvsky behind Pops as well. A few more of them out on their laps now as well, including Senna. We haven't mentioned him yet. Marvsky's going to want to try and pass Pops here. They're both on hot laps. So this could be an issue. Marvsky for now trying to get a bit of a tow, but he will now come to pass, and he did so cleanly. So Marvsky not too disturbed by that, and across the line he comes, 139.6, and Pops for 146.8. So big differences. Smug 140.4. Here comes Levi. On his long-awaited return to the league, 143.3 for him. Syme goes P3, 140.6. We've got some more coming through, including Hammer, who goes 144.3. Easy Life for 141.1, P4. And Senna goes quickest, 139.1 for Senna. But let's keep an eye on Max, who is entering Sector 3. Colin again thinking about the dry tyres. The rain continues to come down, and Max goes quickest, 138.6. So he takes half a second off Senna, who's half a second ahead of Marvsky, who's more than half a second, almost a second ahead of Smug. So nicely spread out at the moment. Early doors, of course. Here comes Sainsy to the line, 146.4 for him. Pickle 141.4, Sloth 141.7. Swanton is out there now, as is 50 Gent. And the rain does appear to be easing as Hammer goes third. 139.5 for Hammer. And I think these early laps are going to be roundly beaten later on. The track does seem to be improving. And maybe the soft tyres for Colin could be the way to go. We're going to see dries, I think, because the rain has stopped. And we still have 10 minutes left in the session. Nobody yet out on track with the dry tyres on. It could just be a matter of time. 50 then. Comes towards the line, 141.1, sorry. And DRS has now been enabled. So there you go. There's the indication that the track has dried out. Smug, quickest of all. 138.3. Bold prediction time. I think the times are going to come down by another couple of seconds at least. Sainsy a 140.7. Smug's teammate in P9. And now Syme is on track with the dry tyres on as we watch Bakey in the Haas. Syme and Easy Life are both out there now on outlaps on the soft compound tyre. Bakey comes towards the line. 141.2 for him down in P12. Pickle 138.8 is now in P4 behind Marsky and Max. Senna's coming out on dries now. So wave 2, it appears, is going to start now. And those intermediate tyre laps looking to be nothing more than a warm-up. Some drivers have anticipated this and not yet come out onto the track. Swanton did come out and then went back in without setting a time. We haven't seen our new King Kong or Rouge Nico yet, who still won't tell me if it's Rouge or Rogue, but I'm going to stick with what it says. Here is Syme. First one onto a hot lap on the dry tyres. And let's just see how much he can improve, having set a 140.6 on the inters. He's a second up already through Sector 1. At that pace, he will be on for pole position. But there are a lot of other challengers yet to come out, or some of them now out. Senna is on his way. Easy Life as well. We stick with Syme. And he's 4 seconds up through Sector 2. When I said it will go down by a couple of seconds this pole time, I underestimated. Syme surely going to be on the top step. Momentarily at least. Crosses the line. 134.8. Ridiculous 3.5 second lead now, as Senna is through Sector 1 with 1.5 seconds up on his own time. 134.8 for Syme, the benchmark now. But Senna, look at this. Senna is also tearing time off. Hello, kick scammer, spammer person. If a mod is in, please kick that person. Senna going to come to the line. Is he going to beat Syme's time? It looks like he is. 132.7 for Senna. Easy Life has gone third with a 136.1. Loads more of them now on their hot laps. We'll go to Max. Smug the quickest on intermediates, currently P4. A full 5, nearly 6 seconds off of Senna's pole time. Max now going for it on the dry tyres as well, leaving everything out there. Al Newt's 133.1 goes to P2. That's a cracking lap from Al Newt. Rouge Nico's also done a 133.1 and he's now on the front row. But not for long, Levi, 132.9. And now he's on the front row. Let's stick with Max and see what he's going to do through here. It's a 129.9 for Max. Unbelievable. Colin, a 130.5. King Kong's out there now. Sloth and Hammer, 130.8. I can't keep up. King Kong has gone to second. No, he hasn't, because Marvsky's now second. Max, 129.9. Marvsky, 130.1. Kong, 130.3. Colin, 130.5. Sloth, 30.8. Hammer, 32.3. Senna, suddenly 32.7. Was pole, is now 7th. Levi's 8th. Ruznico and Al Neuter in the top 10. Syme has got work to do, as has Easy Life. And Smug, who sat top on the Inters, has dropped to 13th now. But will look to improve now. Mr. Pickle goes to P4, 130.4. This is Smug, and he goes to third, 130.2. Levi on his way back to the pits. Ruznico's improving again. And Colin goes quickest. 129.5 for Colin. Just a couple of minutes left in what has been a frantic qualifying session. And Swanton still has not set a time. So risky from the Haas driver, having to get it right on his what will be a final attempt. Ruznico comes to the line, and P2 for Ruznico, but not for long. Bakey has gone pole. 129.3. Bakey Gaming has put the Haas on the front row on the top step at the moment. Smug just behind him, also 129.3 and P2, but this is anybody's at this point. A minute and 10 remain. Hammer is out, and that's just him. Colin goes quickest again. 129.2 now for Colin. A minute to go. Hammer did not crash. He's just done as best he can and got no more time to get back out. At the moment, it's Colin from Bakey, Smug, Ruznico, Sainsey in P5. But not for long. Marvsky has gone quickest by over a second. Marvsky 128.0. Quickest by over a second. 28 seconds remain. Swanton goes quickest again. 127.9 for Swanton. And is that going to hold in the final 10 seconds? Ruznico's in the pits, as is Bakey. Max has hit the line. He won't be above 8th. Who is going to make a late bid? Pickle improves to 8th, so Max is down in 9th now. Is it going to be Colin? Colin P3 ahead of Bakey. Is it going to be Sainsey? No, it is not. Have we got anybody else? Marvsky? No. Swanton? Maybe, but he's already on pole at the moment. Senna goes P3. 128.9 for Senna, gets him ahead of Colin. Still got Newty, Syme all the way down in 17th. He needs a lap. Is he going to get one? Yes, he is. P3. P3 for Syme ahead of Senna. Easy Life is tearing time off as well. Easy Life currently P18, goes to 14th, 130.2, just ahead of Levi. So there you have it, what a qualifying session. Swanton leads it to the last and takes pole from Marvsky. Syme and Al Newt in P4. Apologies to Al Newt. We didn't see that one late on. Al Newt P4, 128.8, goes ahead of Senna and Colin and onto the second row. 2 and 4 for Kick Sauber. Great lap from Al Newt right at the death. Good evening to Magnatex in the chat. He will be joining us later on in Japan. Swanton then on pole from Marvsky. Syme and Al Newt, the second row from Senna and Colin. Then it's Bakey and Smug, Rouge Nico and Saintsy, Mr. Pickle and Max right down in 12th. Going to have to channel some of the Max Verstappen from the weekend, I think. Max, of course, winning from 17th. Max World in 12. 50 Gent and Easy Life following them. And I'll do the rest of the grid on the formation lap where I'll bring in the tyre choices as well. It looks dry along the pit wall. The drivers will be told not to ready up and have a little time to get their strategies and fuel loads correct. So what I am going to do is find the championship standings, where Syme tops the pile at the moment. He is 4 points ahead in the Drivers' Championship to Marvsky. Max is up there. Then it's Senna and Mr. Pickle from Swanton and Joker. Even closer in the Pro standings between Syme and Marvsky, just 2 points separating them. King Kong heads the Pro-Am by just 1 point ahead of 50 Gent. Sainsy, Vampire and Al Newt are in the chasing pack, with Newty, of course, getting that pole position in terms of the Pro-Ams. And P4 overall. The team standings sees Kick Sauber and Red Bull deadlocked on 104 points, with Williams just 3 behind. Williams single-handed today, I think. King Kong, with Joker missing. The chasing pack is headed by V-Carb. Then we have Mercedes, Haas and Aston Martin, with Ferrari lagging behind. So Colin and Easy Life, some work to do. But P2 and 4 for Kick Sauber. That is certainly not going to do them any harm in the battle with Red Bull. Senna and 50. The early race for the Constructors' Championship.
I felt like a one-man band in the car below.
Who's your teammate? Someone who doesn't turn up very often.
Crazy.
Unfortunate, because when she's around, very, very competent driver and will score good points, but such is the nature of the beast. Dan will be in similar thoughts with Glowstick yet to race. Glowstick has not raced for any of the first three. Don't forget, folks, next week it's reverse grid 100% race at China for Blobby Mondays. So no qualifying. Usual start time of 10 p.m, but a full 100%er. And the grid will be reverse of the championship. So expect to see Craggy and Alex Sim Racer having to come through the field. We just await the start of the formation lap. Remember, folks, no formation lap later on. I'll go through the formation lap with the rest of the grid and, of course, the tyre choices for what is a 31 lap race. Taking a little more time than usual today. There you go, all part of it. Eventually we will see them on the grid. There they are. And we are away on the formation lap. No jump in the start on the formation lap, though apparently that's less of a fine than swearing in an interview, as long as you're British. So here are those tyre choices, and it is a strange mix today, with Simon the only one in the top 8 going for hards. The rest of the top 8 all going for mediums, and then 9th all the way to 16th all on hards. The V-Carbs going for different gambles, with Sloth on mediums and Hammer on softs. And Pops at the back is on the mediums. Very interesting to see how Syme fares in the early going, with everyone around him on mediums. But then, will looking after the tyres and going long be the key to the success for Syme, the championship leader. It's a medium hard or a soft medium for Amazon. Dizzy Heights for Al Newt up in P4. His nearest Pro-Am rival is 7th placed Bakey. And row 5, Rouge Nico and Saintsy. A couple of the pro contenders, Mr. Pickle and Max, down in 11th and 12th. That is going to be an interesting development as it progresses. Sloth also way down below where he should be, the Pro-Am champion. Lovely view we've got there of the start, as both the Aston Martins are disqualified for their parking, as is Easy Life. Will that inhibit Smug a little bit on his usually dream starts? We've got 5 lights. Big pause, they go out and away they go. And Marsky's had a terrific start and goes up the inside of Swanson. Marsky, but Swanson holds it out. Senna's had a fantastic start, but he's gone deep there and he won't get past Syme. Or will he? Maybe he will. Senna up to P3 already. Ahead of Syme and Al Newt, then Bakey. Max getting in the wars further back. Hopefully everyone will make it through. The V-Carbs both struggling early to make any positions, but goes up the inside, and that was a real bad move for Hammer, and Easy Life's out of the race. We've got a safety car. Easy Life is out of the race. 50 Gent has picked up a 10-second penalty for colliding with Hammer and has now lost a couple of places to the V-Carbs. Hammer really locked up and threw himself into a corner, which we were looking at while Easy Life had DNF'd in front. Not sure what happened to him there, but his day ends prematurely in the wall, and we have a full course safety car. So Swanton retained the lead there. Marsky still second. Got off the line well, but couldn't make the moves. Senna managed to make a couple of moves from the start and is third from Syme. Then it's Al Newt who retains the Pro-Am lead from Bakey. Then Smug, Colin, Mr. Pickle. Couple coming into the pits. That's Saintsy coming into the pits. And Hammer. So Hammer maybe did himself some damage. Or maybe he's just coming off those soft tyres. King Kong is also in the pits. Not ideal for Saintsy coming off the hard tyre, or for King Kong, but both had damage, so they will all rejoin on mediums, with Hammer at the back of them now. Always a frantic and dangerous start here. Always a dangerous and frantic start here at street circuits, of course. This one being one of the more tricky ones. I think the stats read that every race we have had in this league at Singapore has had a safety car, so we've kept up that record. And just a shout out to Smug and Swanton for doing the appearance stats as well. They tell me that this is my 80th race in DRS, so rapidly approaching that 100 mark. We'll have to do something special for that one. Joker's in the chat. He says Kong to no long now. Well, Kong maybe, but he started on hards.
But not on mediums, face with peeking eye.
Yeah, he's come off the hards. He's gone to mediums, so he'll probably have to stop again. Unless he employs Buddy's Vengeance style tyre management. Always beggars belief to see what he did. 50 Gents dropping down the order. He's going into the pits. I believe to serve his penalty. And we'll also change off the hard tyre. There's the Red Bull back into the race. Scornful Griffin's in the chat. There is a DRS name of Folklore. Cheering for Syme and Senna, currently 3 and 4. Good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Former DRS champion in the chat. So the safety car, I would assume, will be coming in shortly. 50's got to get the hammer down to try and catch the back of the field. Which, as they go through a slow section, I think he should be okay. They are all just coming over the bridge now. The safety car is in this lap, and he will just be able to cruise up to the back of them, I think. Indeed, there you see him. So 50's back with the field. Swanton will now pace it. Hopefully a bit more smartly than happened in Baker's League on Wednesday. As you might have seen and heard my sweary outburst. Swanton then gets away over the line. Syme used a bit of curb there on the way out. And further back we see Smug having a look at Bakey, but nothing doing. Saintsy is past Pops Kong, as is King Kong. So a couple of places lost on the restart for Pops, and Hammer might be next. But we've just got to keep an eye on Hammer, as he did make a bit of a dive just before the safety car. He's going for the move. Further forward, Smug's lost positions and is ghosting. Smug lost there a couple of places, I think. It's going to get Bakey. Here comes Max on Rouge Nico up the inside. Nico's not going to let that one go and holds it round. Good defending from Nico. Max, is he going to go for another dive up the inside? No, he isn't. He's now followed by Sloth. Just having to bide his time on a difficult overtaking track. 50 Gent passes Pops Kong, who's at the back now. Max desperate to get through the field, but he's got a really difficult overtaking track. Marvsky, fastest lap of the race, and we'll go to them actually at the front, because he is right on the tail of Swanton. Senna trying to keep pace with them. Saintsy making a move, and so is Colin. Colin up the inside of Bakey. Saintsy getting past Levi. And now Marvsky takes the lead. Marvsky's into the lead. You can see just how close it is, as Smug also passed Bakey, and Levi and now King Kong have got past Saintsy. And we've got a yellow flag. Hammer has gone off, I think. Hammer had a problem there and went to the rear of the field. Marvsky leads from Swanton, Senna, Syme. Then Al Newt, who has kept 5th place so far. He's ahead of Colin, then Smug and Bakey, Mr. Pickle, Rouge Nico from Max, Sloth, King Kong now side by side with Levi. Williams, an Alpine drag race, and Levi manages to keep the place, and Saintsy getting involved as well. Mr. Pickle passes Bakey, who has been disconnected again, and this happened to him last week, unfortunately. And he's going to ghost and lose all kinds of places, unfortunately. I will try and invite him back. And I can't, because he's not there. 1 second, folks. Let me just see if he's out of... Nope. Bakey's unfortunately not there, so He's been disconnected for whatever reason. King Kong and Saintsy now side by side. And King Kong makes the move. Saintsy dropping right back through the field almost as quickly as Bakey. Malski, Swanton, Senna and Syme, your front four. Bakey's rejoined. Gap forming to Al Newt, who's got Colin on his case. But no Pro-Am, down to P9, Rouge Nico at the moment, who's holding off Max quite well. Swanton, fastest lap of the race as he tries to get back to the lead. Levi now past Bakey, who's going to get swallowed up by a couple more, I think, here. King Kong and Saintsy are side by side. Saintsy's going to try and go up the inside. Kong just manages to stay ahead and is now on the wheel arches of Bakey. And Bakey's been disconnected again. Colin has passed Al Newt. And now Bakey will drop behind Kong and Saintsy and 50 in a second. Max getting now close again to Nico. Has Max got wing damage there? I believe he might have some end plate damage there, Max. We'll keep an eye on that, but it does look like that it is indeed. He has broken his wing, and that may explain some of his struggle to pass Nico. But good defending from Nico anyway. Sloth is right there as well. Max needs to get out of the traffic as quickly as he can. He's going to mount a challenge, and he dives up the inside, and he's been switched back there by Nico. Lovely move from him, and nearly lost out to Sloth as well. But that was a beautiful little switch back from Nico, who's scrapping away with one of the top championship contenders. Bakey again having connection issues. Again, Nico tries to hold it round and does. And he's proving a real barrier to Max's success today. Max on his inside again. And this time, Max World has got the place. As you can see by the gap to Mr. Pickle, that has cost Max quite a bit of time. He's up to P9, ahead now of Rouge Nico, but Nico's got some DRS, and Max's fight with Nico might not be over just yet as he locks up into the corner. Smug now catching Al Newt, and Swanton catching Marvsky still within half a second. Senna has dropped off these two now, a couple of seconds back, and has Syme catching him. Smug from Al Newt, Al Newt from Smug, and Smug looking for a move up the inside, and that's a tidy move in the Aston Martin for Smug up to P6. Al Newt won't mind too much as he still leads the Pro-Ams, and he's got Mr. Pickle and Max between him and his nearest rival, Rouge Nico. King Kong being swallowed up here by 3 or 4 of them. And our contact there between Saintsy and Levi, and they both lose places. Sloth and Rouge Nico side by side, and maybe some damage now for one of them. There was certainly a bit of contact there. And Nico really getting his elbows out. And do I see drops of rain? It is raining, and we saw wet to dry in qualifying. I think we might be seeing dry to wet in the race, because there is definitely rain coming down. And when it rains in Singapore, it really rains. Very tropical kind of climate they've got there. And look at it now, you can really see it. And this is going to throw a big spanner in the works. This could open it wide open here as King Kong now tries to get to 50 Gent. Nico continues to defend from Sloth. Syme getting closer and closer now to Senna. That 10 of 31, and the rain comes down. And surely it's going to be Inters. Blakey has been in and out of the session now. Unfortunate. Again, it's not the first time that's happened to him. Battles going on around the field. Sloth still trying to get to Nico. Kong trying to get to 50. Saintsy and Levi behind. And Hammer trying to get back onto those. And a big power slide. And you're starting to see it now with the rain. It's got to be a matter of time before someone takes the Inters gamble. Marvsky now breaking away from Swanton. We're surely not far from DRS being disabled as well. We have DRS for now, and we have Kong passing 50 Gent. 50's coming back for him. Kong makes the move. Mr. Pickle has now caught Al Newt. Or has almost caught him. 50 and Kong again, and 50 up the inside. Nice move from the Red Bull. And Saintsy is tagged right back on now, and a wobble there, and Bakey's out. Bakey is out. I think he's just given up with the connection, because his car's still moving, but he has retired. And contact there from Saintsy on King Kong, I think. Bit of somebody's wing went flying. It might have been Saintsy's. And now Smug is off in the runoff area. Smug's got off into the runoff area. And he's going to lose places and have to be careful rejoining. He does behind Sloth. Colin now going for Senna. As Syme pits, Senna speeding in the pit lane. But it is time for Inters. Colin's got a time penalty. Syme and Senna the first ones onto, and Senna's gone on dry tyres. It's a disaster at Red Bull. Senna speeding in the pit lane and then has gone on to hards instead of Inters. Disaster for Red Bull. A load of other drivers now pitting. Sloth, Smug, Kong, Nico, Saintsy. Syme has passed 50 Gent as he comes out of the pits. Max is now up to P5 ahead of Al Newt, who's been passed by Mr. Pickle as well. But where's Syme going to be when everybody else comes out of the pits? DRS now disabled. Senna's had an absolute nightmare. He's stuck behind Hammer now, who's almost crashed there. Hammer's having a real problem with his dry tyres now, and he spins and he's in the wall. And that could cause a safety car hit. Hammer facing the wrong way has managed to keep it going. But he's really struggling to keep this car out of the wall at the moment, and he's now been caught by Smug. Look at the rain now as Smug powers past Hammer, who stays nicely out of the way, and he'll do so for his teammate as well. And into the wall again goes Hammer, and again he's facing the wrong way. And now into the pits comes Marsky, Swanton, Colin, Mr. Pickle, Max. And Pickle's done the same as Senna, and he's gone on dry tyres. So disaster for Mr. Pickle and for Senna. Unless they think this is a passing shower, which I'm sure they don't. Senna's now in the pits again. He'll have to sit behind his teammate, then serve his 10-second penalty, and then get serviced. So it's a disaster at Red Bull. It really has gone badly there. Caution in Sector 3, I think, is for Hammer. And Pops as well, making his way into the pits slowly. But Senna will drop all the way down to 15th. Pops is in the pits. Oh, and he's got on dry tyres as well. So 3 teams. Mr. Pickle losing places. He's just having to get out of the way and just try and keep it on the track. Levi, his teammate, has just picked up a penalty. But Pickle has been passed by about 5 cars on this lap. So it's gone badly for him, it's gone very badly for Senna, and it's going to go badly for Pops as well. And he's almost thrown it in the wall there on exit, which is what you saw Hammer do. Meanwhile, Syme has taken the lead. So boxing early was the way to do it, but he had a little wobble there, and Marvsky is right on his tail. And a caution in Sector 1. That's Pops going slowly, I think. Yep. Syme and Marvsky are approaching to lap him. And Marvsky's having a look here. And off goes Pops Kong onto the runoff area. Pickle back in the pits as you'd expect. Pops might be calling it a day here. Indeed, I think he is calling it a day. Or is he waiting for people to pass before he can come out? He's been disqualified. He parked for too long, and Pops Kong is out of the race. To the leaders, Syme, Marvsky and Swanton. Colin just behind, then a big gap to Smug, who's got a nice gap to Al Newt now, who's back ahead of Max World. Then Rouge, Nico, Sloth, King Kong rounding off the top 10 from Sainsy and Levi. 50 gent on Levi's case now. Mr. Pickle and Senna, who have both had absolute disasters in terms of pit strategy, and Hammer is last. 16 still running as we approach half race distance. Max going to make a move on Al Newt. Newty leaves him space, but he's going to try and get the grip round the outside. They're still going to be side by side, and Max, excuse me, Max makes the move into P6. 50 Gent closing on Levi. Had a look. Front four now separated by less than a second each, as you can see, going through in convoy there. Marvsky trying to find a way past Syme. And he got a good run out of that corner. But it's just not long enough. A straight. It could be now though. Is he going to get side by side? Syme covers him off and forces him to go around the outside, which he's trying to do. A rub wheels. And this encourages Swanton and Colin to try and get involved. As we start lap 16. 4 in a line battling for the podiums, for the victory. 2 of them, Syme and Marvsky, are the top 2 in the championship at the moment. Al Newt now has no buffer. The car behind him is Rouge Nico, and up the inside goes Colin, side by side with Swanton now. Swanton's on the inside, Colin on the outside. They're still side by side, and Colin makes the move into P3. And look ahead at Marvsky, going to try and go up the inside of Syme. All very close, very tight. Look at the rain. This could be full wets by the end of this race. Syme, Marvsky, Colin, Swanton. The battle is on. Max trying to close on Smug for P5. 50 still stuck behind Levi. Colin's going to go for the inside, and that move really wasn't on, and he got caught on the curb. And that might invite Swanton back for a move. Bit risky, that one from Colin. They all live to fight another day and another lap. 50 frustrated behind Levi at the moment. But of course penalties, as Marvsky now finally gets the move and takes the lead, and Colin will try and follow through. They're going to be 3 wide down this straight. Look at them. Colin up the inside of Syme. And contact between Colin and Syme, and Swanton's in the back of them as well. And Marvsky will love that and get away. Something broke, I'm not sure what. Colin has taken P2, but at what cost? His front wing looks okay. We'll try and get a glimpse of Syme and Swanton's. Giving us helicam or onboard. Here is Syme. His looks okay, and so does Swanton's. So something flew up, but nothing too major, it seems. That split them up a bit. With Syme dropping to 3rd. Colin trying to keep with Marvsky. Max now on the case of Smug. Interested to see the wear of the tyres as well on the Inters, as Swanton takes P3, and suddenly Syme has gone from leading to off the podium altogether in 4th. Wobble in behind from Al Newt, who has got Rouge Nico now catching him for that Pro-Am lead. Been a strong showing from Rouge Nico today. Earlier on, scrapping with Max. Sloth has got King Kong chasing him. Levi seems to have shaken 50 Gent somewhat. Senna catching Mr. Pickle, but both of those two will not be happy after pit stops ruined their race. Look at the weather. I would not be surprised if this was full wets before the end of this race. It is bucketing it down in Singapore. Max trying to find a way past Smug now. Gotta just be a bit sensible. We'll stay with these two. And we'll keep an eye on Colin, who's caught back up to Marvsky and created a gap to Swanton. So Colin has the pace. Of course, penalties also. 3 seconds for Colin and Sainty and Levi as well. The others have all been served in pit stops. Max not close enough this time to Smug. Of course, no DRS while the rain is like this. And of course, every exit can be a wobble or a spin or a slide. And if you're near enough, you'll take advantage of it. Max trying to be near enough to Smug. Kong closing on Sloth. Senna closing on Mr. Pickle. They're not too far behind 50 and Levi. Maybe an injection of pace for them. But a lot to do if they're going to get anything from this race. Probably praying for another safety car. How does Smug get away on the exit? Quite well. Max has a look to the outside. Newty has now pulled a gap again on Rouge Nico, and Colin now is in the lead because Marvsky is in the pits. So is this full wets? Marvsky the first one to act. And it is blue full wet tyres for Marvsky. And Max as well.
Hello, Blobby.
Hello to Georgie in the chat. Good evening, sir. Max has got on another set of inters. So difference of opinion then between leader Marvsky and Max. And now Newty's got a penalty, and that penalty at the moment could cost him the win in the Pro-Am. Max is going to rejoin behind Saintsy. Levi has boxed and will rejoin behind everybody apart from Hammer. All good, sir. Very good. So Max out on another set of intermediates. Levi and Marvsky have gone for full wets. Colin leads the race. Mr. Pickle's now got a penalty. Newty's got a penalty that could cost him the Pro-Am win as Nico's within 3 seconds. If you're up late, Georgie, I'll be having my first go on the new fortnight, not on stream, but after Blobby Monday stream, so like 11ish. 11:15, something like that. So if you're around, I will send you an invite. Smug's got a penalty, Simon into the pits.
Yup, all good.
And full wets for Sime. Marvsky goes through, Smug in the pits now. Sime's going to rejoin behind his teammate and Sloth. No, he's ahead of Sloth. But behind his teammate Rouge Nico. Kong and Saintsy are also in the pits. Pickle and Senna now right close together. And into the pits again comes Pickle. He almost binned it coming in, but he is coming back in. So it's full wets for everyone except Max on that last set of pit stops. Some have stayed out though. Colin, Swanton have stayed out, as has Al Newt and Rouge Nico. Sloth, Senna and 50 have also stayed out. And Senna's now actually back within touching distance of some points. But of course probably will have to join everyone on the wets. Mr. Pickle's gone for inters instead of wets as well. Levi's got a penalty on and is now being chased by his teammate and going to be passed by his teammate Mr. Pickle. So maybe the new inters is the way to go. We will find out momentarily. And now nobody within a second of the car in front or behind. And there will be more pit stops coming. Sloth speeding in the pit lane. He's got a 10-second penalty. And it's not been a good day for V-Carb so far. Senna and 50. Are either of those two going to be coming in? Senna isn't. Neither is 50. So Senna goes past Sloth. 50 doesn't. And Senna now is back into the top 10. Caution in sector 2 is Al Newt. Al Newt has lost the place to Rouge Nico, and that is the lead of the Pro-Am. Sime is right behind. Hammer has a penalty. But Rouge Nico has taken the Pro-Am lead now. Levi is in the pits again. And he's going back to inters. So Levi's gone back to inters. Nico is up in 4th now. He's having a terrific day. And he's got the Pro-Am lead from Al Newt. Sime is catching these two. Al Newt is going to box. No, he isn't. Thought he was going to, but he didn't. So everyone continues on. Kong's got a penalty. And he's got Senna chasing him down now. And it seems that the wet tyre was not the way to go here. Because the intermediate runners are actually doing quite well. Sime at the moment can't get to Nico and Al Newt. Marvsky is closing on Colin and Swanton a little, but not a lot. And with only 8 laps to go, in the pits comes Sloth again and 50 Gent. 50 in for New Inters. So it seems that the wet tyres are not the way to go. Sloth is going to serve his penalty and drop down. Senna trying to get to Kong. Newty is back with Rouge Nico, but he does have a penalty to deal with. Sloth is going to rejoin second from last. Just around about where his teammate is, I think. Colin is coming through the field and lapping them. He's coming up to 50 Gent. So he's already lapped both the V-Carbs and Levi. And his next target will be 50 Gent. Newty right on the case of Nico. The battle for the Pro-Am victory. Syme is actually dropping away from these and towards the clutches of Max, who I thought was the outlier when he boxed for Inters rather than for wets, but it appears that he's done the right thing and that Syme and Marvsky are going to be the ones to suffer. Can Colin, Swanton and Nico and our Newt go to the end? Senna as well. Saintsy's in for Inters, so he's given up the wets experiment. He drops behind Mr. Pickle and possibly Colin coming to lap him as well. There is Colin going through. And 50 Gent, it's going to be tight between 50 Gent and Saintsy. But Saintsy comes out ahead. Max trying to find a way past Syme, who's struggling on those wet tyres for pace. And Max should cruise by, and does for P6. Senna not finding it as easy on his old Inters to make his way past King Kong, but he is back in the points after his earlier pit stop disaster. Into the pits comes Syme, he's given up on those wets. And back to Inters goes Syme, and we'll drop down the order. Well, let's see, Kong and Senna are coming through. Where's Syme going to be? He's on his way out of the pits, and they're going to pass him. So Kong and Senna past Syme. Senna still can't get past Kong. Saintsy's got another penalty. We'll take you to penalty soon. And finally Senna makes the move around the outside of Kong. Max is now catching this battle between Nico and Al Newt for the Pro-Am win. On board with Al Newt. So Colin at the moment is increasing his lead to Swanton, who seems to have Marvsky held. Then it's these three. Does Max have the pace in the final 5 laps if he can clear these two to maybe get after Marvsky, who's on wet tyres? Let's just have a look at the end of the lap. Marvsky was a 1:42.9. Max a 1:41.9, so only a second quicker. It's not going to be enough as Newty goes up the inside of Nico. Back into the lead of the Pro-Am. He needs to make 3 seconds though. And Nico's going to try and fight him around the outside. Bit of contact. Max is going to try and get both of them here. And he's squeezed. Max squeezed. And they're going to go 3 wide again. Somehow they managed to keep it out of the wall. Max now past Nico. Is he going to get out Newt as well? Up the inside. It's so tight. It's close. Max on the outside now. Gets it round and gets it done. Max World up to P4. Lovely stuff. Nico needs to stay within 3 seconds of Al Newt at the moment. In a terrific Pro-Am race. Colin is extending the lead. Oh, into the back goes Nico of Al Newt. Senna's up to P8 now, which is a terrific afternoon's work considering the pit stop shenanigans. Syme has also suffered pit stop shenanigans. The wet tyres not going well for him. And he is now going to try and get past King Kong to salvage some points. But it's not gone well for Marvsky either, and Max will be delighted with how it's gone at the moment from qualifying in 12th. He's in P4, Marvsky only a place ahead, and Syme down the order. Smug soldiering on the wet tyres. Has Senna got enough time to try and get to him in the final 5? King Kong has given up on those wet tyres himself, and he's in the pits. Still raining, so no sign, no chance of any dry tyres coming back out. Where will Kong rejoin? Behind Mr. Pickle. And just in front of Colin, who laps him, but that was almost trouble. Colin continues to lead and continues to extend that lead. Al Newt trying to get away from Rouge Nico. These two, both of them have had a terrific race, 5th and 6th at the moment. Then it's Smug, who's soldiering on the wet tyres. He's got 10 seconds at the moment to Senna, who's got Syme closing in on him. Levi in the pits once again. And it's not been a glorious comeback for him this evening. Hammer now catching 50 gent. And they're all ghosting because people are lapping them. I think Swanson's in amongst there. There he is. Nico sticking with Al Newt at the moment. Lap's probably going to run out for Senna, and his main issue will be Syme behind him. Smug is actually really closing now on Al Newt and Rouge Nico. And maybe the wet tyres are going to have a renaissance here against the old mediums. Rouge Nico now dropping a bit further behind Al Newt. And this one's going to go to the wire for the Pro-Am win. Smug could catch and get maybe one or both of them in this final 3 laps. Colin looks to have timed the strategy perfectly, and his Ferrari, if the intermediate tyres hold out, is going to be on its way to a victory. With just 2 laps left after this one. Max not making enough of an impression on Marvsky. Rouge Nico, this is the key battle now. Smug, of course, has a penalty as well. Everyone with 3s except Saintsy and Levi with 6. Everyone you see with that penalty signal next to their name. So Nico's just got to stay within 3 seconds. Colin the wet specialist, says Joker. Well, it certainly appears so today, but more of a strategy issue, I think, for Marvsky, for Syme, Senna, Mr. Pickle. A lot of them. Max has used the strategy well. He's up to P4. Qualifying was where his weekend went a little bit wrong.
Good race.
It's been a very good race. Interesting with wet to dry quali and dry to wet race. The rain now easing a bit. Nico has to stay within 3 of Al Newt to take the Pro-Am win. Syme is almost within a second of Senna now. Has he got it in him to make a charge? Senna's taken quite a bit of time out of Smug this lap as well. But too little too late, I think. Smug only with 3 seconds of penalties. So these two need a big last couple of laps to try and overhaul Smug with penalty. Syme could do it with the pace he's on at the moment, but we shall find out. Sloth might gain a few places out of penalties. He's stuck behind his teammate at the moment. Syme closing in. Senna will defend here. Collins on the final lap of the race. There he is. Being followed round by King Kong. We'll go back to Senna and Syme. Smug now within a second of Nico as well. Momentarily on the wet tyres, and it appears to have stopped raining altogether now. The leaders are on the final lap. These two are not. And Syme is trying to make another place on Senna here. And has a look, has another look. That was very tight going in. At the end of the lap, they will begin their final lap. And off that out is Hammer. Hammer's out of the race on the last lap. Hammer is out on the final lap. Colin is coming up to the final few corners. Newty's got it up to 2.3. Colin comes round the final corner. And Colin wins for Ferrari in Singapore. Swanton will come over in second. Simon Senna are side by side. Senna defends with his elbows out. How close is it going to be? Swanton comes in second. Marvsky has been caught by Max, but not enough, I don't think. Massive finish still here. Newty's got 3 seconds. Newty's going to do it. Marvsky will hold off Max for third. Max finishes fourth. Now how? What's the gap going to be? He's closing it again. Newty or Nico for the Pro-Am win. 2.9 the gap. It's all going to be about this last couple of corners. Newty's got a bit extra. Newty hits the line, but is it going to hold? Yes, it is! Al Newt has won the Pro-Am and finished 5th overall. From Ruznico in 6th, Smug in 7th, Senna defended from Syme in 8th, Syme was 9th. Mr. Pickle will be the last one home on the same lap and take a point for Alpine. What a race. And a Pro-Am podium for King Kong in 11th. Al Newt and Rouge Nico. Max takes the driver of the day, going from 12th to 4th. But Singapore in the rain belongs to Colin and Ferrari. We mentioned they were bottom of the Constructors' Championship, so a massive points haul for him, especially with Easy Life departing in the first lap. Swanton in second and Marvsky will take third. Swanton with the fastest lap as well for a bonus point. Max was 4th behind Marvsky. Al Newt, the Pro-Am winner. What a tight battle it was with Rouge Nico. The 3-second penalty. In the end, not enough for Nico to overhaul Al Newt. He finishes 6th and 2nd in the Pro-Am. Smug, Senna and Syme also, and Mr. Pickle also in the points, with King Kong taking 3rd in the Pro-Am. Then also finishing were Sloth, Sainsy, 50 Gent and Levi, with DNFs for Hammer, Bakey, Easy Life and Pops Kong. That brings us to the end of a cracking Singapore race. We will be back in half an hour's time as Blobby Mondays goes to Japan. So I'll see you in Suzuka in half an hour. Thanks very much.